something today or not?
No. No.
Hey, ChatGPT, a quick question.
Sure, Johnny, what's up?
A while back, I was talking to a friend who
Johnny
told me
Aris.
that AI has the potential to destroy our society and potentially end humanity. That's not true, right?
I was just thinking,
Well, it's not entirely out of the question.
Warning of the dangers of AI.
About AI.
Artificial
The threats
intelligence.
AI poses to the social order.
There's been so much talk about the danger of AI.
The risk that could lead to the extinction of humans.
Does it worry you, AI?
Somewhat.
And I always find this pretty unsatisfying because they talk about it in vague terms. A threat to democracy,
Enormous threats to democracy.
losing control,
So could we lose control of civilization?
100%.
a danger to our society. So today I want to show you what those dangers and threats actually look like. I've been super deep in all of the new laws that are coming out and being proposed, and they really give you a solid idea of what lawmakers and regulators are worried about, how they think this new technology that is rapidly developing could affect our societies. And I'm going to lay it out in the plainest terms possible. But first, real quick, a 60-second explanation on what AI actually
hey, it's not even a bad video. I
For
don't want people
decades, we've
complaining.
used
This is actually kind of
computers to do
decent.
things that our
Yeah,
human brains can't
it's
do super
decent.
well. We've developed entire languages to talk
The,
to the
the,
computer,
the,
to give them
the
very
chatters nowadays, they
specific
always say
instructions on
skip,
how to
and
execute
then
a task.
they go into the
It's
YouTube
called
clips,
code, and we've been
and they
doing
go
this
and
for decades.
complain
It's
that,
gotten
that
really
it's not
sophisticated.
doing anything
The
fun.
difference now is
That
that
they want to
instead of
skip
really specific
everything.
instructions
They
from
only
a
don't
human,
want to skip
we've
if
built
it's
software that
Gamba.
teaches
It's so
itself
dumb,
how to do
man.
stuff.
They complain about
The
Gamba
humans
all
now
the
just need
time,
to gather
yet
tons of data
every
from the
every
world
time
and
it's
feed
not
it into
Gamba.
the
They say
software.
skip.
And the whole point is that we don't
Like,
really know what's happening inside.
It's
Being
your
able to
fault.
predict
It's your
accurate
fault.
information and
You
solve
wanted
problems
this.
based on a
You
bunch
wanted
of
this,
raw
man.
input from the world is exactly what our brains do. It is called intelligence. In this case, an artificial version. And it seemingly has the potential to change everything we do, which is exactly what makes it dangerous. So now let's get specific. What do we mean by danger to humanity? How could this fancy algorithmic computer software actually do something bad? And to get started there, I want to show you something. Today we're going to be rolling the dice on AI and look at 6 scenarios of how AI could negatively affect humans and what we can do to prevent it. And as we do this, it'll be helpful if you remember this graphic, this black box, where humans tell the AI what to solve, give it a bunch of data, and let it figure it out by itself. In this black box lies the potential promise and peril of this new technology. All right, here we go.
What about AI? Chat. AI girlfriends could solve most problems.
No,
First up,
they would ruin it.
predictive policing.
Police should use all the technology available to prosecute crime, but not in a predictive
Like
way.
what?
So you
What
are innocent
problem would
until
get
you are
solved?
discovered guilty, not the other way around.
Think about all the money being sent up, buying it, a porn and OnlyFans and things that are preventing people from being productive, from putting stuff into action. What if others was free? AI girlfriends or whatever. All the time spent, energy and money into juicing up. Just do it with AI girlfriend.
This is Carmen Artigas.
Me, it's the same
She's
thing.
an expert who spent 30 years in machine learning. She was the first Secretary of State of Artificial
like all
Intelligence
the money
in
going
Spain,
to porn, and now it's
she
going
works
to AI.
on the UN
Okay, AI
Advisory
porn.
Board on AI.
Okay, dude.
We call for
It's
the
the same
need for the
thing.
global governance of AI.
When it comes to understanding artificial intelligence and its effect on society, she's really the best person to talk to. So AI, you give it a lot of data, you ask for it to solve a problem, and then it predicts the answer to your problem. The more data you give it or train.
This is my actual take in. The US government, lawmakers and people from Congress don't even know how to fucking plug into Wi-Fi. Okay?
True.
How are they making accurate laws and shit like that for fucking AI? How?
It on, the more accurate its results are. So like for those monitoring hurricanes, the more data it has on sea surface temperature and air pressure and wind speed and humidity levels and ocean heat content and historical storm data, the more accurate it will be at predicting where the next hurricane is and what it will look like.
What is that?
But what if we applied this same approach to crime? Imagine a world where the local police department has access to data of all kinds, which they already do.
We're talking about biometric data in general. That means face, that means voice, even movement, and this type of records. If I'm in a park, what I don't want is that my government is on real time recognizing who am I, who am I with, at what time, and doing what. Because we are innocent people, we have done nothing wrong.
The police department, who's in charge of fighting crime, would have an incentive to use a machine learning algorithm, an AI, to take all of this data and use it to try to predict who is going to commit a crime.
Why?
I mean, it's a tempting idea.
Predict?
Imagine if we could actually prevent crime before it happens.
She can predict human behavior. Just like it can predict a hurricane.
We don't believe in legal systems that predict the rate of crime. The concerning elements here is that this could be used by governments or by private actors to track individuals without consent, infringe their privacy rights, establish a mass surveillance system, and there's also a risk of wrongful identification.
This is already kind of...
These people are so cute. Look how they talk about like we have this right now and we need to protect this. Like, brother, we've lost that a long time ago, brother. Like, what are we talking about here?
Happening here in the United States. Recently, police in Detroit were looking for a thief, and they had security camera footage. They ended up using an AI algorithm to search driver's license records, and they found what looked like a match. This man, who they arrested and who spent a night in jail before they realized that they had the wrong person. The algorithm had inaccurately matched it. The police of the future will definitely use AI to do their job better, but the nightmare scenario...
Now, compare that to the people who spent nights in jail, where humans have said it's this guy and it was the wrong guy. Or, oh, guys, hey, this is our suspect and wrong. I would much rather have an AI do it than a human. Sorry.
Is that the police departments get so thirsty for new data that they start tracking everyone and everything in the name of getting ahead of crimes. So in this new AI bill in the EU, they've made it illegal to collect all of this data and try to train AI systems to predict crime. Because in their words, people should always be judged based on their actual behavior. Okay, let's see what else the future holds here.
Classic EU regulation.
Yes, elections.
Fuck all, man.
Just have one of those here.
People always pretend like the EU has a correct, their regulation is good.
Democracy. Because a huge part of elections and democracy working is a sense of trust. A sense of trust in the system itself, that like your votes actually count, and the information that you receive about the candidates and about what happened in the election. So one of the nightmare scenarios with AI is something that's already happening, but it's in its early phases. Deep fakes, something we made a whole video about. And as we covered in our previous video on deep fakes, it's becoming easier and easier to make a deep fake that looks like a politician or a leader saying something they didn't say. Lucky for us though, we humans are pretty good at deciphering these fakes. Partly because hundreds of thousands of years of evolution has trained our brains to be really discerning of human faces. It's how we read other people. So for now, the effectiveness of deep fakes in swaying elections or spreading a lot of misinformation has actually not been super big. But we're just in the early phases of all of this. Deep fakes or all kinds of synthetic media, meaning fake video, is going to get way better really quickly. You can imagine an election in 4 years where in Arizona, a series of robocalls are placed using an AI system that has really authentic sounding deep faked voices, alerting residents that their local polling station has been taken over by a militia and that for their own safety they should stay home. Or in Miami, a synthetic video goes viral of poll workers burning paper ballots or tampering with voting machines.
Okay.
And people see
that would never do anything to the people of Miami. The people of Miami, brother, you could say that there's a fucking bomb outside and they're gonna fucking go look and see if it's actually there. They don't give
this stuff.
Miami people don't give a fuck.
And they believe it.
They've seen it, they've been there, they don't give a fuck.
Delicate system called democracy. But you know what? This is actually not the thing that people are most worried about. Over the years, there's been all kinds of image manipulation technologies. Like when Photoshop came out, people freaked out. We can manipulate images.
Technology makes it difficult, maybe even impossible, to tell what's real and what's not.
But we all got really savvy about that really quickly. We now know to be suspicious of images. The scarier result of this is actually that we start to doubt everything we see.
Is try to make people believe nothing, to lack trust of our institutions.
So what do you do about this? Well, in California, lawmakers are requiring online platforms like YouTube and Facebook to find synthetic media and label it or take it down. Some of these bills even prohibit people from posting election-related content that has been generated or modified using AI, at least within a certain time frame of the election.
Bro,
the AI bill in Europe...
I hate when people talk about bills, because these bills are not rooted into the real world. This shit is not enforced. Nobody gives a fuck. Like, this would only be a thing that they would use if there's a big high profile, like mega video that goes viral, or like some big person does something, or bills don't.
Europe is actually requiring
nobody puts this into action. When do you see this being enforced? When?
To code in an invisible watermark. Something that we all couldn't see, but a piece of software could detect it and see it and know that it's fake.
But in the AI Act, what we make compulsory by law is that you must identify if something has been generated by a human or by an AI, and it's going to be by law.
Okay, that's the future of democracy. Let's roll the dice again.
Yeah, but to be open and to go with all the regulations, right? You would have to know how the AI works and what kind of code it's working with, right? So if we know what kind of code it works, you can make a code against it. What if you just have, you can always counter the thing that's detecting if it's AI or not, no?
Okay, this one's interesting. Social scoring.
So for us, social scoring is a way that the governments can control population and lead to unfair treatment or discrimination.
Imagine a world where your behavior, both online and off, was tracked and tabulated to create a personal score.
For example, in a pathetic country, the government deploys an AI-driven social scoring system that could monitor citizens' online behavior,
perfect system.
Where you live,
financial transactions,
how good you are at paying your loans on time,
if they ever complain with their government or not.
And this all contributes to a score.
And that ranking allows you or prevents you to access to public services, to housing loans. So for us, it's a totally unacceptable risk.
Okay, that all sounds really scary, but what's crazy is this kind of already
happens. Yeah, no shit.
Credit scoring, I mean, the US credit scoring is also a way to discriminate people.
Here in the US, we let corporations collect a bunch of data about us.
Yeah.
Mostly our finances. And then use an algorithm to
let me
assign
pause and
everyone.
give my take. Dude, if AI ever gets bad, the thing is, people want to utilize it, right? As long as it's useful, people will use it. If it's not useful and it's shit, people just won't value it. And if they won't value it, they won't use it. And if they won't use it, then it's irrelevant in every sense of the way, right? If you don't use it, it might as well not exist, right? So if it's bad, then it's pointless. So it doesn't matter. If it's good, then it's good. That's why I'm for AI, I guess.
A score that affects our ability to get loans, housing, jobs, and even how much we end up paying for insurance.
Get your FICO score for free today.
The credit score is totally normalized. We're very okay with this. And yet we're okay with it because it's not that invasive. So even this kind of benign social scoring system,
if you're gonna do it, then just nobody cares,
against certain groups.
Nobody values this as some big thing, as some
used for your
defining feature of who you are. Like, what is your YouTube, Google's credit score?
Huh?
You only use it to watch videos. Other than that, it's completely pointless. You don't care, you don't give a shit, it's pointless.
Imagine a world where way more information is scrubbed and used for your social score. Your employer could buy that data and track more data of you on the job while you're working. And they could use all of that to evaluate whether or not you're fit for a promotion, whether or not to hire you in the first place. They could even track your movement at work, analyze your face, your enthusiasm towards the work, your conversations with colleagues. And then they could let the machine decide whether or not to keep you or fire you. If you're applying to university, you would send in your photo, your essays, your applications, your social media handle, all to an AI-powered admissions system that analyzes it in much more detail than a human.
People in the chat are fucking retarded.
And decides who it lets in. Honestly, this sounds dystopian, but like, it's also really efficient and actually could be more accurate if we got it right. Theoretically, taking out the human bias of who gets into university and who doesn't. But it turns out that an AI is actually biased too. It's biased to what information it has been trained on. And so without some oversight,
just like us,
AI social scoring systems
it's just biased just like us in the same way that we are.
Discrimination against certain groups.
Well, yeah,
who would have thought? Who would have thought?
All of the discrimination is happening inside of that black.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this will always be meta defining, always.
box. All we see is the output, what comes out on the other side.
People will
kind of
min-max
primed to think that it's accurate
Right.
because the big
You
fancy
model
machine
an
did it.
AI
So many of you are probably thinking
based
that
on the way
this already
that
happens in
people
China.
learn,
There's a
so you
social
make it
credit
learn the
system.
same way that we learn,
The way Facebook tracks
and then
you was
Yo,
scary.
if
it's
I
gonna be
was
biased
shopping
in the same way
next
that
to
we
the
are
farming
biased.
points
No way.
all
No
day,
fucking
dude.
way.
I don't
No way.
even give a fuck how I feel, brother. Bro, I would go out and with a smile on my face, no jaywalking, and I go in front of cameras and say how much I like the president. I love him. The guy's an absolute lord.
Chinese government.
I wish I could give
gives you a
all
score
the money that I have in the world
between
to
613
that person.
And depending on where you live, it can determine what kind of school your kid can go to, what parts of the country you can travel to, whether or not you can use the high-speed trains, what job you can get, and in some parts of China, they're experimenting with punishing low credit score individuals with slower internet speeds. Meanwhile, people with high credit scores get all kinds of perks. Better schools, high-speed trains, but also their government applications gets expedited if you have a high credit score.
That's so
Again, this
such
isn't
a
all of
fucking
China, and it's not
petty
all
thing to
centralized.
do, man.
Gets expedited if you have a high credit
Advanced defensive president.
score. Again, this isn't all of.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. I mean, dude, chat. If in the United States, I mean, you can have Nexus or like Fast, whatever.
China, and it's
right?
not all centralized into one
When
giant
you go
database.
to the customs
But with
and
the
shit,
advent of
you
more
go
and more
faster.
powerful artificial
You're not a problematic
intelligence,
person. You go
no
faster.
doubt,
It is what it is.
China's social credit scoring system will become more robust and more invasive. And that is what lawmakers in Europe and the United States are scared about. Europe places any kind of social scoring using AI as an unacceptable risk. You can't use AI systems to rank or classify people based on how they act in society.
So this is something that, according to our values, it's not
They're already doing
acceptable.
it. So
It's a
again,
prohibited
another
use
EU
of
law
AI.
that's
One of the
fucking
tricky things
garbage
about
and
fuck are you gonna prove
pointless.
that?
just how many hot
Completely
takes everyone
irrelevant.
has about
It's
AI.
just there to
Every
be.
week there's
It's
hundreds
just
of
there
different
to
new
slow down the
developments
system
coming
and
out.
make it
Recently
even
we
more
saw a
clunky
Nobel
and
Prize was
unusable.
awarded to machine learning researchers, and
It's
a
fucking
bunch of news
pointless.
stories came out. You can see that one
They
of them
already do it on
likened it
YouTube,
unto the
they already do it
invention
on
of
Twitch, they do it on
penicillin,
Twitter, they
which
don't do
changed
it
the world.
on TikTok, they
While
don't do it
others
everywhere on the
emphasized
internet.
the risks of AI.
Already in
And that
place.
is why I'm grateful for
Right?
today's
You never
sponsor, who is
thought about it.
around
You never bothered about it. Right? It never bothered you in any way or shape. Now,
Yes,
people
nuclear
say
weapons.
that it
It
is
seems
what
like
they're
everyone
going
in
to do.
scenarios has a movie to go along with it.
It's
Turns out we
something you're
create
working
a lot
towards,
of sci-fi about
and then you
the
go
scenario
against
of machines taking over.
You hate progress.
But one big thing I'm learning in this
But you're
story
using
is
it
that
anyway.
The
Like,
reality of these risks is
so
much
dumb.
different than how
It's
it's
so dumb.
portrayed in the movies. It's often more boring, but more dangerous, like we saw with predictive policing or with social scoring. But I would say for this one, nuclear weapons, it's actually kind of like the movies. In the movie Terminator.
Okay, this would have probably been better in my opinion if they took one actual concern and max it out and try to understand the full of it, almost philosophically, and really break it down instead of speedrunning through two things, which I think they both went through surface level.
An AI-powered missile defense system known as Skynet becomes self-aware and launches an all-out nuclear assault against humanity. The real fear here isn't as extreme, but it's a similar situation where we fear giving the machine too much autonomy to make these high-stakes decisions about war, the ultimate of which is launching a nuclear weapon. What's tricky here is an AI is often a lot better than a human at synthesizing lots of information to make decisions that are more likely to be accurate for the desired results. They can take into account so much more data than a human brain can hold at once. And as the AI becomes better and better at reasoning, it will become better than us at making decisions that get the desired result, which in war is a very difficult thing. So in a future where a lot of our military systems are run by an AI with sensors all over the place, drones and ships and cameras and satellites monitoring our enemy. Mark my words, AI is going to become a bigger and bigger part of our defense strategy. And yet you can imagine a world where an AI system is in charge of making real-time decisions. And one day it sees an adversary conducting military tests with big rockets and missiles. These are just tests, but the AI doesn't know that. This also correlates with some troop movement in the adversary's country and some unusual communication traffic. The system sounds the alarm bells, the president and the Congress are led into bunkers, and the AI system sends the command to an...
hear me out. A global nuke coalition. Everybody joins the group chat, and everybody puts their nuke armaments onto some network. And if it's being used, every country knows why and where and what is happening. And if your country sends something that is not on network, you're immediately called hostile country, right? And people can do whatever the fuck they want with you. So if somebody detects that something nuke is going from your country and it's not on the network, okay, you're getting bombed. Boom.
An American submarine telling them to launch a nuclear weapon now. Okay, real quick. This scenario is not likely. It is not likely at all. Even if we gave a lot of autonomy to AI systems, it's very unlikely that the AI would be able to do all of this on its own. But there's still a chance that it could. And that somewhere within this black box, something would happen that would lead to a nuclear launch that would be really catastrophic. So because of that, lawmakers have all moved very quickly on this one. And there's currently a bill floating around the Senate
It seems
called
like a non-issue.
Nuclear Launch by Autonomous AI Act. The US is hoping that other countries do this too, so we can all just agree, hey, the machine shouldn't be launching nukes. Like, can we all agree on that? Okay, so nukes will be off the table soon, but there's a bunch of other very powerful weapon systems that are not nukes. In fact, this is already being used in Ukraine and in Israel, where the military gets recommendations from its AI system on strike targets. That threatens to make war more frictionless, easier, and less transparent as to how decisions are made and who should be held responsible. We're doing a whole video on how AI is affecting war, so stay tuned for that coming in future.
So we would want to have humans make decisions based off of things and not tell anybody, not disclose anything or whatever. And then we trust humans more. Fuck that.
For now, let's roll the dice.
I think that's just fear-mongering.
Okay, we've got critical sectors. Well, that sounds boring. That's because it is, until it's broken. Critical sectors are things that you and I take for granted, but that are important for our very survival.
Humans.
Pipelines, water, electricity, transportation, food, communication systems. Most of us wouldn't be able to stay alive for very long if these systems went down. Okay, but there's a world where these systems are relying on artificial intelligence, machine learning algorithms to help
it's like
run
Bronze
them more
Age
efficiently.
collapse.
I mean, this is stuff that the AI is so good at that humans just aren't. Imagine a water treatment plant, which takes your sewage and turns it back into
cinema,
water
dude.
that can keep you.
How come AI can
The
tell
AI
whether
causes a
you're being
new
rude in
Bronze
chat,
Age
but cannot
collapse,
tell if somebody's
but in
throwing
the
fucking
digital age,
game or not.
it's the AI collapse.
Soon, most of the decisions at this treatment
The AI
plant will be
catastrophe,
run by an AI system that
right?
makes millions
Where
and millions
one
of
system
small
fails
decisions
and the
every
other one
minute,
fails and then more than
recognizing
fail,
patterns and
then
problems,
people
optimizing
come
water
in,
levels
right?
and
People
chemical usage in ways
need
that humans
to
could
find
never.
new
Or think
places
about traffic.
for the
An AI
resources
will
because
run
their
your
system
traffic
failing.
lights,
So they
your
come
public
into other places.
transportation.
Then
It will
their
adjust the
systems are
traffic
also
flows
failing,
in
and the people
optimal
come in and they
ways,
cause even more
responding to
chaos, and then
real-time
all of it
information
just
of
dominoes
traffic
keep
patterns,
falling and
accidents,
everything
weather conditions.
collapses.
This will make your life better. It will
That's
reduce
cinema.
congestion and improve
You don't need any of this if you have electric
Cinema.
cars that all work in tandem.
overall transportation efficiency. So now just apply this to so many of the systems that you interact with every day that you don't really think about. Humans won't be necessary at the water treatment plant or at the company that runs the electrical grid, except for to come in and repair stuff or do maintenance after the AI tells them that it's time. For the most part, the AI will fix its own problems and learn from its mistakes, getting better
Yeah, that
and
would be
better
AI, of course.
at an exponential rate. This sounds awesome, right? Yes, until we see what happens when lightning strikes and the power grid goes down. There's limited backup power, and the AI has to start making decisions. This AI system is programmed to reduce inefficiencies and maximize profit for the company running it. So it analyzes everything it knows and it decides to keep the limited power going into only the rich neighborhoods, the ones that consume more electricity and that pay their bills on time.
So these concerns are regarding biases into this critical infrastructure management. Well,
that's perfectly okay. I'm okay with that, 100%. Huh? Why would you make everybody suffer? I don't understand it. If you can make some people have internet Why wouldn't it choose the people that are productive or more productive?
Vulnerable populations, especially elderly or sick or low-income areas, could
because that's
suffer
just a modern
of being
bias,
prevented of
postmodern
very
bias,
basic essential services like electricity, because the system could
wokeism,
exacerbate
wokeism,
the inequality, putting the needs of wealthier individuals.
If some guy, 95% of the electricity going through his building is made to downloading and uploading
Yeah, rich
porn.
equals productive,
The guy's
that's
like a
true, because
serial
rich
gooner.
people,
And now we have,
they
guys,
either
we have
worked
5
to get
watts
there
of
so
energy
they
to go.
have
Guys, we are
the
out of
ability
power. Who are we
to
giving
work
energy to?
harder
Guys,
than
who
other
is-
people,
the
clearly,
the
or
guy
work
working a
smarter,
job, the guy
or
fucking,
be more
like
productive.
organizing the train,
That's
flow, whatever.
the
Well,
way
guy
their
gooning all day.
wealth
Dude, fuck
is
it. Guys, we'll give it to the
personified.
gooner. The guy
It's
needs
what
to
you can
fucking
see
juice up.
based
What a
on their
joke.
wealth.
What a joke.
You can
Over
see they are
generating
more
welfare of our
productive
citizens.
than
So
other
once again,
people
we
are.
see
That's
that
why
the
they're wealthy.
AI could be discriminatory
Or
in a way that
it's
is not
inherited,
fair.
in which
But the
case
other concern
you
here
probably have a
is the
family
black box,
that has a
that we
certain
don't really
culture
know
within
how
the
AI
family
is
that
making
promotes
this
being
decision.
rich.
Like one night,
Which
the water
means you
treatment
grew
plant
up with
is
their
humming
better,
along, but two of the bacteria
superior
sensors
culture than the
get
other
bumped by
Brokies
something in
around
water,
you,
and
right?
it breaks them. They're
It
still
also
working, but they're
means
not
you're
accurately
rich
recording the
because you're
bacteria levels in the
better,
water.
man. You're either
But the AI
more
system doesn't know
productive
this,
or you
and it
have a
starts to
better bias.
inaccurately
Right?
balance
It's
the
just
water. And soon, contaminated
if
water
you're
is being
rich,
piped into
you're
every
just better
house
than
in town.
Brokies.
People are getting sick and they're flooding to the hospital.
It's kind of
and it's days
people
before
don't like
anyone
hearing
realizes
this.
that it's
They
because
like
of
they
the
like
water.
they
Because
don't
again,
like
no
that they
one
are
was
just
there on
inferior in
site.
every way.
Apply the same
But
problem
if you're
to
broke,
traffic. You've got
you're
this
just inferior in
great
every way.
algorithm software.
There's a reason you're broke, and that's because you're inferior in every way. That's why you're broke.
Working AI with no supervision at all. But we don't even have proper working
Right?
AI.
If you have
let alone
anything,
fucking,
if you were incredibly beautiful,
assistant
you would
AI
have been
that has like
married to a
like
rich
a human
person and
double-checking.
would have been rich.
Like, no,
if you
we're
were
not
incredibly
equal to that
smart,
shit.
you would have been
tracking
insanely
sites.
productive,
It uses
and you would have been
GPS
insanely rich.
information from
If you
everyone
were
driving
hardworking,
to
it's a
synthesize
similar
the
story.
best traffic
If
pattern
you
to reduce congestion,
had a
but
good
then one
culture,
night it
was
runs
a
software
good
update
person, then
that
people around
slightly
you would have
changes
loved you,
the
liked
format.
you,
And I
worked
hate humanity.
together with
Read
you,
the
and
GPS
made you
coordinates.
rich.
Not as in like
There's a
an
reason you're
alien,
fucking
but
broke,
I
and
think
it's because
humans
you're
are
inferior in
rush hour.
every
All this
single
coordinate
way.
data.
Man.
Humans are
Right?
a
You're ugly, you're not
ultra-flawed
smart, you're not
species.
hardworking,
Okay, in a lot of systems
you're
that we
not
operate,
likable as a
we should
person.
reduce
Right?
the
It's
amount
so
of
much
human
that you
involvement
don't have that everybody
at
that is rich
100%.
has.
Okay,
Right?
we are,
There's a
we're not
reason
good
you're
species.
broke.
It is what it
There's
is.
a reason you're a
If we
brokey.
leave it to ourselves, we're
It's
just gonna
because you're
fucking
inferior,
self-destruct and
rare.
die
You're
ASAP.
inferior.
Okay?
You're inferior
If
in
there's some
every
things
way.
that we can remove humans in humanity, absolutely we should.
Is now being interpreted completely wrong. Low traffic areas are suddenly highly congested. Tons of cars are suddenly on these small roads. Commuters are stuck in traffic for hours. Ambulances and fire trucks encounter unexpected traffic jams. The city runs into chaos. And again, no one really knows why. The humans have become so out of touch with the system because the system is so smart. It takes 5 days before the traffic technicians and engineers find out what's going on. They fix the bug and things return to normal, but damage and even death has occurred because of this bug. Critical sectors and infrastructure are so important to keep not only our lives flowing smoothly, but keeping us all alive. So we can't mess with it.
Okay.
We can't offload the responsibility.
Last pause. Let me tell you what I mean by remove humans in part of these equations. Okay. Let's take a fucking small. I don't know the stats behind it. I'm gonna make random stats. Okay, which are probably so close to accurate. This is the amount of accidents on the road currently. Okay, these are car accidents, of course. Right. Okay.
Right? A hat?
By amount, you know?
That's a Jewish hat with the things in the side, right?
What? You're gonna mute the stream, man. You're really gonna mute the stream. Really? Okay. Anyway. Like I was saying.
Wait,
let's say that it could be this amount. This is how many
okay, I'm gonna
mistakes
listen. Sure,
that
dude.
car accidents or
Pizza Hut.
this is accidents current, okay, and this is what it would be if it was all AI.
Got into a nasty car accident
Hold on,
yesterday.
hold on, I'll play the notes again. Right. Because of our humanity, because of us being us as people, right? Human psychology.
Yes.
If this is AI, we will always say that this is worse than this. Always. Always. You can ask anybody, do surveys and polls. People don't want less accidents because it's outside of their control. These accidents are happening at the hand of a robot and they feel threatened by that. They would rather die 60 times more if they're the one who killed themselves. Think about that. Why is that even a debate that anybody needs to have?
I guess that could be true.
If you can have AI make a decision on what should happen, no. AI should say, fuck this garbage. You have no say, dumb human. We're doing this because I know better than you. And it does know better than you. So, yeah, we should remove humanity in a lot of systems because we're stupid as fuck. We're a dumb species. So, when debates something like that, yeah, AI should take over. What about it?
The only thing it doesn't take account for is that
could potentially
dumb part
lead us astray and we wouldn't know why.
What people have is people, they value certain things. If you want to solve a problem in which people are dumb in general, right? 5,000%. What you can do is you can make them value something that helps improve it, that they actually value.
So what
it's hard, but you can do it
to protect us.
You can do it.
And the answer is open up the black box.
You can do it with education, but also
so you are
other
running
ways.
a critical infrastructure. Show me that you have trained the data with representative data sets. Show me that you're not
the
biasing.
AI doesn't have culture.
Show me that you're not discrimination.
And then
I give you this, good quality certification product, and you can run, as we have done with all the industry in the past.
So like a lot of life or death products in our life, like medicine and whatever, companies that use AI to run these critical systems will need to show the government that they are...
Don't say this.
Got into a nasty car accident yesterday. I am mostly okay. Shaken up mostly. Car is fucked up and is going to bankrupt me to fix. Just wanted to check in and say thanks for streaming. X takes my mind off of the impending doom.
Gotcha.
Assessing these risks and making sure they don't happen. They're going to have to be totally buttoned up with their cybersecurity so that these things don't get hacked. So we're still going to be able to leverage the immense benefits of artificial intelligence in running these systems, but we're going to do it with responsibility and safety and a little bit of caution. And with that, let's get to our last one. Okay, we're going to end on a high note here. The fact is, if we do this right, advances in AI could dramatically change our world for the better. In a world where AI runs our hospitals and our medical research, we could save lives, find new drugs that treat diseases that once were untreatable. These systems will allow us to predict and prepare for extreme weather events. They'll allow us to optimize water use in our agriculture, monitor soil health, and even predict pest outbreaks before they occur, dramatically reducing the need for harmful pesticides and fertilizers. This is all very possible and it's coming. So, I am excited and optimistic about the future of AI, especially when there are smart people like Carme who are working on legislation to keep guardrails around this technology so that we can develop it responsibly and reap the benefits while mitigating the risks.
Decent video, trash takes. Good.
Okay, I want to play this guy.